Hello there, Atheist Junior here, your friend and humble narrator, and we got another live stream ready for you guys. Today we're going to be looking at a video that premiered yesterday after I did my stream a couple hours later. And, you know, I did a stream yesterday with Big Bad Mama and with Aiden, and we talked about Kent and the video that he did about me on Rumble. Kent got banned from YouTube, and one of the things that Emma Thorne pointed out is that if you're banned from YouTube, going on somebody else's channel to subvert that ban is not allowed. It's still a violation of TOS. So Proverbs Guy are essentially helping Kent evade his ban here. But yeah, what happened in this stream was like 45 minutes of some of the most shameless Hovind ass kissing I've ever seen. But yeah, let's get into it.
Well, God is good, but some of God's kids drive me crazy, but God is good, brother.
Some of them get to me too, Doc. How have you been dealing with the atheists lately? You going to war still?
Oh, yeah. I enjoy picking on them. I really do, brother. Anybody believes they came from a rock and are related to a banana, it's fun to make fun of them. It really is. I enjoy it.
Honestly, it truly is, Pastor. And you've been making waves lately. You're always known for making Kent Hovind type waves, but this is like a tsunami wave with Forbes magazine. How did you do it?
Well, for those that don't know the whole story, I've been a Baptist preacher for 50 years, and the IRS came and raided our ministry in Pensacola back in 2006. Brought a SWAT team in, arrested me, charged me with the dumbest charges you can imagine, had me convicted. The third jury convicted me, put me in prison for 10 years for nothing. I didn't break a single law. Oh, and so I'm just trying to get, Trump is in there now. He said, we're going to de-weaponize the Justice Department. Well, that's exactly what they did to me. They spent 5 years trying to find something on me to shut me up because of my DVD number 5, The Dangers of Evolution, in my series. You can get the whole series, $50, okay? So that you were very familiar with the thing, Stephen, what happened here. They put me in prison for 10 years. I want my case overturned. I want Trump to get some of his lawyers to look at what they did to me. The judge, the U.S. attorneys involved, the IRS agents involved, they should all be investigated and fired at least, possibly jailed.
Okay, so you think the people that investigated you should be in jail instead of you, Kent? And you want to get a what is it? Overturned, a pardon. Pardons are something that you usually get when you're in jail. You know what I mean? Or like, you know, you're about to be executed and the last minute the governor calls and he says, oh, the prisoner's been pardoned. Like, you already served your time, Kent. You're done. You did the time. But a pardon you still have an admission of guilt. You have to admit basically that you did the thing. Although I imagine that Kent would have no qualms about, you know, signing some paperwork that said that if he thought it meant getting the rewards that he erroneously thinks he is owed from the government. Like, not only should they overturn his case, but what this is really about is Kent just wants money. At the end of the day, Kent is just greedy, and he doesn't want to legitimately, honestly work to make money. He wants to sell DVDs that are full of lies to children.
What they did was criminal to me. You know that, Stephen. Go ahead.
Well, you're right, Dr. Hovind. I know very well because I happen to have done the documentary Unmasking Kent Hovind, where we dived into the many, many corrupt ways they manipulated the system to put you in prison. You are actually what's referred to as a hate crime victim because of Casey Rogers, Judge Casey Rogers' hate for Christians and the faith. She persecuted you on the means of you being a believer. That's a hate crime.
That's right.
So this is just hilarious. What a ridiculous notion that Kent is the victim of a hate crime. So what's the definition of hate crime? A crime typically one involving violence that is motivated by the prejudice on the basis of ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, or similar grounds. So I don't know what violence has been enacted against Kent, but this is just ridiculous to say that Kent is the victim of a hate crime because he got found guilty of a crime that he actually did and went to jail for it. Just stupid.
Right.
Yep. So
And it
you
needs to be
have
fixed.
absolutely, and hopefully now that this has got to President Trump, we can get this reversed. And I'm hoping he's going to look at it. Have you heard anything from him yet?
I've not. No, we sent I did a short video February 1st on my channel. These are all my channels listed right here. Rumble. Peter Riley called me a couple days ago and said, I'm doing an article on you and your open letter to President Trump. I said, well, good. Well, Peter Riley has not been a friend of me or the ministry for the whole time, but this one was pretty good, an article that he did.
This is what I don't understand, or maybe it's not that hard to understand, but this article and none of Peter J. Riley's articles have been positive about Kent. Like, the articles have never painted Kent in a favorable light, and I've been mentioned in these articles before, but they've always been about Kent and his history as a tax protester, which he can deny, but I don't see how even Kent should realize how he gives off the impression that he very much is a tax protester, even if he claims that he actually isn't. Certainly he should understand how people could get that vibe off of him. He's totally a tax protester, though.
He did in Forbes magazine. It came out, 2 days ago? People kept sending me links. And in that article, he did pretty good. To exonerate me. And he mentions the Rumble, puts the link in there, right in his article. Go to Forbes magazine.
Yeah, so the simple answer is just that any publicity is good publicity. Like, these guys are like, there's a Forbes article mentioning Kent. Yeah, it mentions Kent. It's about Kent, but it also mentions Carisu, Truck Driving Billy, some other people that have been doing a lot of good videos on Kent lately, Claude Balls. So it mentions the evil atheists that terrorize Kent as well. So I just find it funny how this is seen as a victory by Bolin and them for Kent. It's really not. It's just another article in a series that have painted Kent in a very honest and fact-based way, but have not painted him in a positive light as a tax protester, which he totally is.
Magazine, type in Kent Hovind. If in the last couple of days, that's me. So yeah, I think the whole Justice Department needs to be examined. The purpose of the Justice Department is to bring justice, not to be a weapon that you can beat up your opponents with. That's what they do in communist countries. This is not a communist country yet. So I really highly recommend people watch the video I did on February 2nd on Rumble or on Kent Hovind Official on Facebook. Or is that one up?
Do you think, Kent, just random honest question, do you think that telling people to go to the video that you made on a certain date is going to make it easy for them to find the video? It's not. That's like the least useful piece of information you could give about a specific video.
Joseph, on the app, Kent Hovind TV, is that open letter to Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, they're all on there. Okay. You go to drdino.com, the upper left-hand corner there, drdino.com. That's our website. On there, you can see all the different channels we're on. But yes, I hope it stirs up. I hope it makes a tidal wave and washes some of the filth out of Washington and Pensacola.
I posted the link for the Forbes article in the chat, so hopefully everybody who loves and supports Doc.
Kent Hovind's open letter to Trump. Dear Trump, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my Dr. Dino website, and my YouTube channel at the bottom. I sent 2 letters back in autumn, but you must not have got them.
Hovind will share that as much as you can. How else can
my 5th wife's in the trunk too, Hovind?
people get involved? Can they write their congressman and ask the congressman to tap President Trump on the shoulder?
Please do. Congress and Senate, especially the conservative ones, talk show hosts. There's no statute of limitation on fraud. What they did to me was fraud all the way. You know that. They broke 100 laws to put me in prison. I've got many videos on that topic. Let's see. the one you did, and the Kent Hovind is Innocent series. It's here somewhere. I don't see it right now. But
Yeah, that was also a good series.
yeah, I was getting ready for a sermon in my house in Pensacola, working on my laptop. My wife, 5 foot tall, still in bed early in the morning. SWAT team comes in, arrests us, arrested her in her nightgown, took her to the courthouse in her nightgown, wouldn't let her get dressed, terrorized her, poor lady. We were virgins on our honeymoon, married for 42 years, and had a wonderful time. And when I got out of prison, she divorced me. She's still scared of the IRS. What they do.
Yeah, I don't believe you for a second, Kent, that it was an actual SWAT team, nor that they took Joe down to the courthouse in her nightgown. I don't believe you. It just seems like you're exaggerating and lying about the events that happened to engender sympathy. But the fact is that you and Joe were guilty of the crimes. Joe basically had been wrangled into it and forced to be guilty by association with you, although she definitely was guilty, but you kind of forced her hand, which is a scumbag thing to do. Like, my question to Kent is, if you didn't structure your funds, if structuring is not illegal, if there's no law against it, and if what you were doing doesn't qualify as structuring, even if it was a law, why is it that you had your wife make the withdrawals every single time? Why didn't you make the withdrawals? It's almost as if you knew what you were doing was illegal, and so in a cowardly way, you tried to use her as a shield, as if she'd be the one that the IRS came after if it was her name on the withdrawals, even though you're married to her and you have a joint account, I'm assuming. Like, it's just a petty, scumbaggy way of showing that Kent knew what he was doing was illegal.
What they did was traumatizing her, and I want to see them pay the damages.
Yeah, I'm sure it was traumatizing, but it's your fault, Kent. It's your fault that she went to jail for a year.
Probably, I'll tell them, start making zeros. I'll tell you when to quit on the check.
Well,
okay, and how much does Joe get? Oh, are you going to give some of that money to Joe? No. If he did, which will never happen, Kent will never get any money from the government for this whole thing. But even if he did, you think he would give any money to Joe? No. Hell no.
Oh, and a lot of people, they know the history of you being put in prison by the IRS, but what,
like, how arrogant is Kent, really? I mean, that you could pose that as a rhetorical question, because there's really no way to answer it, because it's infinite. But how arrogant is Kent for the fact that he's been blessed with way more amenities and gifts and things that he does not deserve in his old age, and yet he's still so greedy? Like, he has hundreds of acres of land, he has donations coming in, he has everything he could ever need, he's financially taken care of, basically, and yet he still is railing against the U.S. government because he thinks that he's owed basically a blank check. It's still not enough. You know, Kent needs more money. He's just so greedy.
what a lot of them fail to realize is that Joe spent a year in jail also, and that was a way of trying to intimidate you into not fighting the case.
Right.
And unfortunately, it happened.
But when I tried to fight the case, they did everything they could to make it worse for me. They moved me 32 times while I was in prison. I've seen just about every prison in America, been all over it, but New Hampshire, where it's chilly, in Colorado, I was all over the place. I wrote a book about the prison system, which I highly recommend people get and read. Not because it's just me, but I did a lot of research. It's called The Kennel.
No, it's because it's you.
I was writing it from prison. I used the false name Elijah Green because Elijah was the prophet that the king hated for no reason. And we wore green in that prison, our green uniform. So Elijah Green, but it's me, Kent Hovind. Did you know congressmen and senators and judges and attorneys are allowed to own stock in the prison system? The longer they lock you up, the more money they make on their secondary investment. That ought to be criminal. They should go to jail for that. It's to give longer sentences. It's stupid. Stop it, Trump. Fix it.
Welcome.
He's good at fixing stuff. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Welcome, Dr. Hovind. Yeah, no, and before it's always like conspiracies, you know, you're just a kook.
Oh, look, it's the rat fink Dan Pazzi.
It's not you, but everybody. And now, thank God, I don't particularly like Donald Trump's
It's funny.
attitude, behavior, whatever that is. Besides that, what he has done for exposing the corruption that we have in our government is just overwhelming. I had a friend.
What has he done to expose the corruption? Just be blatantly, openly corrupt? I mean, I guess you could make an argument that he is exposing corruption in the government. He's showing firsthand how corrupt that our government is. Him and Elon Musk.
That she had a guy, a son-in-law living in her house, or whatever he was, and really thug. He and then at that time, whoever it was with all the automatic weapons and the gear came in, he wasn't even around. They do, even in that, which he should have come down, all they did was terrorize a bunch of people that had nothing to do with him.
Does anybody know what the fuck Dan Pazzi is talking about? Because I'm lost.
And so that is where, and Stephen was just alluding to that, and we've seen through the last 4 years where the government has used that kind of scare tactic that they used on you. And I don't care who it is, that's not right.
Oh, that's what they do in communist countries. They said the communist countries, they terrorize the people into submission. Oh, I got to go over here and click this.
Well,
button.
and just to clear up for people, a lot of people are also under the misconception that Kent Hovind got locked up for tax fraud. Nothing could be further from the truth.
But he did, though. That's exactly what happened. That's what happened.
They got you with tax structuring, which when you explain it, every single citizen in the United States with a bank account has committed tax structuring.
Wrong. That's just not true.
It's when you take out multiple withdrawals from your bank account that are all under $10,000. That's structuring. Everyone.
No. It's when it's just under $10,000 and it's done in a pattern of repeated withdrawals. So just under 10,000, not under 10,000 as in $20 is under $10,000. No, that's fucking stupid. Obviously, they mean getting as close to 10,000 as you can without going over, because you want to avoid the bank notifying the IRS that you've taken out a withdrawal out of 10K. Because when you do that, a lot of times it can move you up to a higher tax bracket, and there are additional fees and things where it can affect your credit score. And basically the IRS and the federal government wants to, the idea behind structuring was that they could have a better chance of monitoring large amounts of funds moving in organized crime if the bank has to notify somebody taking out, like $9,000 or $9,500 basically in cash, because that's the reason that structuring needs a pattern, is because lots of people do make withdrawals of, say, $9,000, and it's not criminal. There's no malicious intent behind it, but usually it'll be like one time, or maybe 2 or 3 times, but not 45 times in a row in intervals of 2 weeks. That's why it's structuring, was because it was 45 times in a row, dude. Like, that's so obviously a pattern that I don't know how Kent can say he's not guilty of structuring. And the way that Kent also is dishonest about talking about structuring is he does not mention his other charges, which were failing to withhold taxes, Social Security taxes, from his employees. Now, the reason those crimes are linked is because Kent was having Joe get $9,500 out of the bank every 2 weeks, and then that money, basically they were hoarding it in a safe. Kent says they were using it to pay college students who were helping them build the properties at DAL. It's bullshit. It's not true. It's just an obvious lie. But why would you need to make that withdrawal that many times? You know what I mean? Like, even if you were paying them cash, like every 2 weeks, that just obviously shows that it's payroll. You're withdrawing that money because you're using it to pay your employees, which Kent claimed they were not employees. He claimed the people at the CSE, the DAL in Pensacola, were missionaries and not employees, just like he says now that they're volunteers. But $9,500 over 45 withdrawals, that's $500,000 that Kent took out. Yeah, the government and the IRS is going to notice that, Kent. That's $500,000 that you took out over the course of what? Do some math. Over the course of about 2 years. Because 45 weeks is almost a year. Yeah. So over the course of 2 years, you took out $500,000 from your bank account. And because you wanted to avoid the reporting requirement, you had the withdrawals be $9,500. That's why it's structuring, Kent. Holy shit, dude. It's not hard.
Listening to this program tonight has broke that law, and the IRS could come and arrest you and your wife tonight too. So it's important President Trump looks at this stuff.
Yeah, and Kent had a time clock for his employees, which was the thing that ended up busting Kent, was they found out he had a time clock and was making people clock in.
Well, people don't understand. The structuring law was never promulgated. It's not really law. It doesn't meet the Paperwork Reduction Act. There is no law requiring the bank to fill out any forms at all. Most of them do. The basic idea was they said they're trying to catch drug dealers. So the Congress passed a law that said if you take out more than 10,000 or deposit more than 10,000, any transaction over 10 in one day, the bank has to fill out a form. I don't care what form they fill out. They can fill out a form on $1 if they want. But then the drug dealers, to get around, so they didn't want any forms filled out on them, the drug dealers would go in the morning and take out $9,500 and go in the afternoon and take out $9,500. So Congress passed another law that said if you take out more than 10,000 in one day, but you break it up into smaller transactions, you have structured your transactions to evade the reporting requirement. Keep in mind, the law was never properly passed. There is no law like that, okay? But the banks think that there is, and the IRS is using it up to the hilt, even though there is no law. It's phony. But be that as it may, we never did that. We would take out $9,500. My wife would take out $9,500. 2 weeks later, take out $9,500 because we had like 40 college students working for us in all their off hours, and we paid them cash. Most of them were from out of state, and they paid their own taxes. There was never a law broken about taxes or about structuring. It was never two in one day. It was one every 2 weeks. So even though the law wasn't passed and isn't a law, we still didn't break it.
Yeah, I agree. And in my
Kent, how do you not see that that's very similar to what you actually did? Like, you're just describing structuring. Like, this just sounds like structuring, but with more steps. Why is it the fact that it was 2 weeks later? Why does that make it okay? Why is it not okay to do it twice in the same day, but it is okay 2 weeks apart? Like, you see how what you're describing makes it structuring, right? Because you intentionally spaced it out by 2 weeks. That's part of it. It just shows the intent and the fact that your wife made the withdrawals. Why did your wife make the withdrawals? Every single one? You think somebody like Kent Hovind is going to willingly have anybody but him, especially a woman, have control over his finances, especially to the tune of $500,000? You think he wouldn't make those withdrawals in his name if he felt like he could do it without getting in trouble? No, of course not. That right there for me is a smoking gun.
In my opinion, the real reason they locked you up in the first place was...
Oh, and by the way, U.S. Code 5324, structuring transactions to evade reporting requirement. No person shall, for the purpose of evading the reporting requirement of sections 531A or 5325, the reporting or record keeping requirements imposed by the Federal Deposit Insurance Act, or let's see, Bank Deposit Insurance Act. So it is a law. It just is a law. Part of U.S. Title Code 31, specifically related to reporting requirements for domestic financial institutions regarding large cash transactions, essentially meaning that any attempt to evade reporting requirements under these sections, including structuring a transaction to fall below reporting threshold, is considered illegal activity. Financial institutions must file a report known as a currency transaction report, or CTR, when a single cash transaction exceeds a certain amount, totaling $10,000. Let's see. A bank must verify and record the name and address of the individual presenting a transaction. Let's see. Structuring transactions occurs when a person acting alone or in conjunction with others conducts or attempts to conduct one or more transactions in currency in any amount at one or more financial institutions on one or more days. On one or more days. So right here, Kat, if you're watching this video, there you go. Structuring transactions occurs when a person acting alone or in conjunction with others conducts or attempts to conduct one or more transactions in any manner for the purpose of evading the CTR requirements. Under no person shall cause or attempt the bank to fail to file a CTR, cause or attempt a bank to file a CTR that contains a material omission or misstatement of fact, structure, assist in structuring, or attempt to structure any transaction with one or more domestic financial institutions. So right here, Kat, this proves that you are wrong. Doesn't matter if it was 2 weeks later on one or more days. A person structures a transaction if that person, yeah. So this is pretty much black and white, Kent. A customer may structure currency deposit or withdrawal transactions so that each is less than the 10,000 CTR filing threshold. However, two transactions slightly under the 10,000 threshold conducted days or weeks apart may not necessarily be structuring. Okay. For example, if the customer deposits $9,900 in currency on Monday and deposits $9,900 in currency on Wednesday, it should not be assumed that structuring has occurred. It has to assess whether the activity is suspicious. So, like I said, this is not always going to be considered a crime. If it's done once or maybe over the course of 2 days, they'll look at it and say, yeah, this doesn't qualify structuring. When it's 45 times in a row, exactly 2 weeks apart, yeah, that. And I got so heated, I accidentally tapped out. All right, let's keep going.
Catholic Church in the
Structuring. It was never two in one day. It was one every 2 weeks. So even though the law wasn't passed and isn't a law, we still didn't break it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I
just
agree.
proved it.
And in my opinion, the real reason they locked you up in the first place was DVD number 5.
Right.
I didn't used to believe that as much as I do now that I've looked into it and made the documentary, but it would be hard for anyone to convince me at this point that that's not why they locked you up. You were
Right.
doing real damage to evolution.
I hope I still do. I'm going to do till I die, and after I die, my videos are going to keep going. So please do it.
Well, you've definitely got attention now. You've got Forbes magazine writing about you at a time where President Trump is sensitive to this kind of thing. the atheists are helping by spreading this and
know.
getting reporters to report on it. How else can we get the atheists involved to help your case?
Um, they play lots of my videos on their channels. It's hilarious. They're spreading the gospel and don't even know it. Many people learn.
I mean, I don't really see how that's spreading the gospel. I mean, other atheists tend to be the majority of viewers of this content, and they're not going to be convinced to convert to Christianity by watching somebody else react to one of your videos, Kent. I just don't see any scenario where that happens.
Learn about me and our ministry here, which I'm not important, but the ministry is. They
Yeah, Kent, you're not important. You're not a narcissist.
learn about us because of the atheist channels. Say, wow, who is this guy? Let's check him out. I love it. So, yeah, I think getting my case overturned and getting them to pay the damages is very minor in the big picture of things.
No, the whole thing is about getting money. It's not minor. That's the entire reason you want to do this, because you want money.
I want God to get the glory. And many people will not listen to
By God, I mean me. By God, I mean me. And by glory, I mean lots of money. Over.
me and will not listen to my seminar, will not watch my videos because they think I'm some kind of evil lawbreaker. Of course, our country was started by tax protesters. Keep that in mind. Throw the tea in the harbor, and we need that to happen again. But see, the IRS is a private company. It's not part of the U.S.
Throw the pee in the harbor. Pee. Piss in the harbor. Fish. Over.
States government.
Water sports.
Okay. And they think they're lawless. They think they're above the law.
No, that's you.
Think everybody should obey the law, including the government. And praise God for Trump.
Excluding me, Kent Hovind.
He's going after them, and I hope he goes after all of them that broke the laws in my case. But in my video series, I cover part 1, the age of the earth, how to prove the earth is not billions of years old. Part 2 is about the Garden of Eden. Why did they live to be 900 years old? The Bible says they lived to be over 900.
Hey, you know who else is innocent? P. Diddy. Guy's totally innocent. I mean, I'm innocent. Chris Jones is innocent. And P. Diddy's totally innocent. He didn't do it.
Part 3 is all about dinosaurs. They've always lived with man. They did not live millions of years ago. Part 4 is lies in the textbooks. They hate that one too. There's 30-some lies that are used to push the evolution theory. There's no evidence for it at all. Part 5, the dangers of evolution. I trace through the history of this theory. There are some people, some morons, who would like to have a one world government, a new world order. And the creation story is a hindrance to that. See, the guys who started this country said, we hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal. They're endowed by their creator
We hold these dicks to be self-erect.
with certain rights. Where do rights come from? They come from the creator.
Yeah, it says their rights come from their creator, meaning their creator as in the creator from their specific religion, because the U.S. was not a Christian nation when it was founded. It was a secular nation, one where tons of different immigrants from different backgrounds emigrated into the country. And in my opinion, that's what this line in the Constitution is saying, is they're endowed by their creator. So each individual person is endowed rights by their own government and worldview and religion.
Well, they don't like that idea. The morons who want a one world government under communism, they say rights come from government. We give you the permission to drive on the highway. We give you the permission to get married. You have to get a license, which comes from the word licentious. In other words, if you don't do it, you're licentious. You have to get a permit to breathe, permit to eat, permit to buy, sell. That's what they're striving for. Revelation talks about that. I did a whole series and wrote a book while I was in prison for a doctoral dissertation on what on earth is about to happen, the end times, what's coming according to the Bible. You can get that on our website, drdino.com, and see all our stuff there. But we sent the letter to all these folks, and what people can do, brother, anybody, if you have a congressman or senator from your state, who is usually Republicans, are the most conservative, concerned about this. The Democrats are concerned about, more social welfare. It's a communist mentality. Socialism / the only difference between
social welfare, having a social safety net is totally a communist ploy.
Socialism and communism is socialism with a gun. We're going to force it on you with a gun. That's all. Otherwise, it's the same.
No, Kent, you don't know shit about communism or socialism. You just don't.
Philosophy. The idea that you work hard and they take it away and divide it up how they want. That's communism. That's evil. If you work hard, you should get rewarded. Somebody else doesn't want to work. The Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. That would get people motivated. Anyway, that's another story. So in my video 5, I talk about the dangers of evolution. This theory is not only stupid.
So the difference between socialism and communism is that socialism just wanted to socialize production, but communism wants to socialize the means of production and of consumption. So the average person or the working class has free access to the goods that they need. So yeah, they're very similar, but saying, oh, I'm going to fearmonger about socialist politicians, and we haven't even had any true socialist politicians run on the Democratic ticket. Like Hillary Clinton was basically right wing. She was just more left than Donald Trump was. And Bernie Sanders was the closest to an actual socialist, but they didn't want to vote for him. They didn't want to put him on the ticket, So Kent just wants to, he uses communism as the boogeyman. He really does.
There's no evidence for it. It's dangerous. We teach the kids they're just an animal. And we wonder, why are they acting like animals? Duh. Look what you're teaching them. I taught high school 15 years. I've seen some pretty sad things. We're teaching.
The StreamYard link is in the chat. If anybody wants to join, just be glad to have other guests on.
Them they're an animal. I ask atheists all the time, how do you tell right from wrong? Where's your standard for right and wrong? They can never answer. We've got a standard. Thus saith the Lord. I can tell you how you tell right from wrong. God created us. He owns us, and he decides what's right and wrong. Simple. Okay? They don't like that. So anyway, we're going off track here. But yeah, what people can do is keep spreading the video. Tell everybody you know. Watch this. Just let them. Send that link to the Forbes article. If you go on, Joseph, I sent that to you. Can you post that somehow? Okay, yeah. Because in that Forbes article, he posted the link for Rumble. You can click on his Rumble link and go straight to the show that I did February.
Rumble in the jungle. If this dino van's a knocking, don't come a knocking. Don't come. If this dino van's rumbling, don't come a tumbling.
First on our channels, it's called. Hang on, that's the wrong one. Open letter to President Trump. That's not the one I wanted, but I wanted this one. Okay, you're a tax protester. No, I'm not. There's nothing wrong with being a tax protester, but I got other things to fight. There's too many bad.
Dear Trump, what's up, man? How's your daughter? I'm about to be a father. If I have a daughter, guess what I'm going to name her? Elon Musk.
Dragons to slay. I'm working on the evolution dragon.
Amen. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the
my pizza and peanut butter's gone cold. I'm wondering why. Gonna open it all.
Article in motion. Now they have shut you down off of YouTube again. You are not planning on returning to YouTube, correct?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, as if you have a choice, Kent. Like you're choosing not to be on YouTube. He wants to be on YouTube. He's just choosing not to return to YouTube because there's just no chance of him building his channel back up now.
Okay, so what are your biggest platforms? Where can people find you?
Well, many, many people are playing my videos on their.
They can find me in the back alley. I'll be doing shows with my dancing monkey. And also we'll have a freak show where I charge 2 bits a gander to look at Brady Byram in a cage.
YouTube channel. So go to YouTube and just type in Kent Hovind. It'll come up. So I'm thrilled that Trump is trying to de-weaponize the Justice Department, make them stop.
As if Trump hasn't used the Justice Department against people, against his political opponents. I mean, he went through the FBI and tried to fire everybody who worked on a case related to him. But FBI agents don't choose the cases that they work on. So it was completely pointless.
Stop using, let's see. Is that the one I want? There you go. They can get all my stuff. drdino.com is our main site. They're all listed right there.
You would have to take a shower after going on Rumble. Even the ads, just the ads are super woke, not woke, but like anti-woke what's the word, prepper, Trump doomer like energy. They're like advertising for like food for your fallout shelter and just get your new Trump autographed toilet paper. We slap Trump's name on some shit. Now buy it because you're a gullible fucking moron.
But they watch the TV. What is it, $1 a year to get? You have to pay something to have an app for TV or something. So $1 a year, you can get. Oh no. Apple TV, Apple Play Store. I don't know what any of that is. I'm techno behind, brother. Post a link. Let somebody click a button. Okay.
All
Jeff,
right.
please spread it around. And it's not so much to get me exonerated, though I would like that, and have them pay the damages. Boy, I'd like that. We could do it. But it's to get the
Boy, I'd like getting lots of money I don't deserve.
gospel out. I want everybody to know, wow, the Bible is true. I stopped a guy today, came over to give us a price on cutting a tree down. And I said, hey, the Bible says the earth is, that God made everything in 6 days, right? He said, yeah. I said, when did
It also says the earth is flat.
dinosaurs live? You get that strange look on their face like, oh, come on now. If he made everything in 6 days, like he said in the 10 Commandments,
Wow.
then dinosaurs had to live with Adam and Eve. Whoa. That's why we started Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama. Come on down, just north of Pensacola, 70 miles. It's free. You've been here, Stephen. You know the place. It's amazing.
It's
Come visit.
paradise on earth. There's not.
It's like Jurassic Park, except replace the Tyrannosaur with a pedophile.
I think where you'll find your.
Oh, hey, hello, Peter. How you doing?
It's been a while since
It has. It truly has.
Well, I had a good reason to come.
What's that?
Well, you're covering Kent Hovind. I just did some fact checking.
Oh.
So I just did a show with Dr. Amanda Townley, who is the general director of the NCSE. And if I say that, then you know exactly what question I would have asked her about Kent Hovind, don't you?
Not the exact question, but I love NCSE.
Well, I asked, is there in the office of the NCSE a plaque on the floor that says Kent Hovind stood here?
Yeah.
You know that he's been telling that, right?
Yeah. He said that when he went to Berkeley, that after he left, they taped a sign to the floor that said Kent Hovind stood here. How he would know that after leaving, I don't know.
Yeah, he said the same thing about the NCSE. And guess what? Never happened.
Of course not.
Shocking. I mean, he's literally more important than Jesus, according to himself.
Yeah.
And that he would lie to people. Can you believe that?
Oh, Kent.
I mean,
I can believe it.
He's the chosen one. He's a prophet of Jesus Christ himself, according to him.
Well, lying has served him well.
We can't check with Jesus if that's correct, because he's a little bit hard to reach. He doesn't answer his phone or email or anything. So I don't know how Kent knows, but he'll probably know.
Yeah,
so he's ban evading again.
He is, with the help of ProverbsGuy. I mean, at a certain point, I'm starting to feel like Jesus might have stood us up.
Yeah. I also think that YouTube is standing us up, because remember when he did a show about Sir Sick?
I remember seeing that he had done that. I don't know if I watched the actual stream though.
He literally told one of the people in the comments in that show to go ahead and unalive themselves.
Oh, Kent did, or
Kent did.
Oh wow!
And so I know that a ton of people have been reporting that stream, and the channel's still up.
Wow.
So,
Which channel is that?
ooh, Claude, help me out. You're in chat. Tell me what channel that was in.
Of getting closer to God.
Because I
do
think
have-
Claude posted that.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll say in the chat. But yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Doc. This comes in from one of your platforms. Hey, Ken, do you have a book or anything on why the Bible, why the Christian God is the correct God?
I covered that a little bit on seminar part 7, which is 5 hours long, questions and answers. And what about other religions? And I cover I did a whole series, about a year ago, Joseph, why I'm not a Muslim, why I'm not it's on the app too, okay? Why I'm not. I've covered quite a few of the other religions. I can't be one of these because here's what they believe compared to what I think the obvious truth is. So the Bible, it's very simple. The Bible claims to be.
Isn't what he thinks the obvious truth is also just what he believes?
Yeah, well, that's a convenient coincidence, you know.
Yes, it doesn't have any more merit than anyone else's beliefs, does it? I mean, you can.
Yeah, well,
you can
let's listen to his answer because it's interesting.
This book says it's perfect. Psalms 12, 6, and 7. The law of the Lord's perfect, converting the soul. This book
that's the Quran.
God.
That's the Book of Mormon.
Inspired. The word spire, where we get respiration, respire, perspiration, it means to breathe, okay? It claims to be inspired. It claims to be God's breathed book through 40 different men. Who could write a book through 40 different authors who most of them never saw each other and still have it harmoniously seamed together? So if a book makes a claim like that, either it is or it isn't, okay? I've been studying it 56 years now, brother. This book is
it isn't.
Okay, so let's review. The Bible claims to be perfect, and if a book makes that claim, either it is or it isn't. And Kent's been reading the Bible for 45 years, and he's decided that it is perfect. Well, but what was your criteria for determining that? And what makes that more valid than somebody else coming to that conclusion about, like you said, the Quran?
I mean, to find his standard, you have to dig a hole in the ground. So
Well, it's just because that's what he wants to believe.
No. I'm really convinced that that is not what he wants to believe. It is where the most money is possibly to be made. If you're in the US, you can become a Muslim, but you're not going to get people to donate millions of dollars to you every year. If you're a Mormon, you don't get people to donate millions of dollars to you every year. Even if you're a Catholic, no one's going to donate to you. But if you are a Southern Baptist and have the most gullible following on the planet, basically, yeah, there's money to be made. That's how that works, AJ. You and I, we're in the wrong business.
Yeah, apparently.
If you would convert to Christianity tomorrow, after all the shows that Ken did about you, including that horrific one that he just did recently, you'd be raking in more money than Ken did. That's just how it is. And probably the people donating to Kent would donate to you.
And that would be nice.
So what kind of Adventureland would you start?
Well, I wouldn't mind just having a Dino Adventureland, but instead it's just like, let's go to an actual museum and just look at some actual skeletons and actual fossils and stuff that actually is cool.
No. Keep in mind, you're going to be a fire-breathing, chicken-eating whatever the fuck he always says, Baptist. So you can't have an actual science thing because that would go against your beliefs. You need to pick what would you think would be a good Christian theme park? And keep in mind, you have to compete with a dinosaur that has a water slide that goes through the library and shoots kids out of his ass. So you'd need some inspiration.
Yeah. What do Christians like? What do Trump voting Christians like the most?
I just talked to the director of the NCSE, and yeah, she said beliefs and procreation is the easiest thing to get in the southern states. So maybe you could build on that. Oh no, not procreation, fornication. Sorry, wrong word.
I would make Joe Rogan Adventureland. That's what I would do.
I mean, couldn't you find someone a little bit more appealing?
He is appealing. If I'm trying to grift and make as much money off of Christians and Trump voters, then that's what I would do. Yeah. If I'm just lying.
I saw Telegraph polls in too that were more appealing, but maybe that's because I'm Dutch. I mean,
yeah, probably.
I also spent weeks going through one of his shows, and he wasn't happy about that because he had all of them banned.
Yeah.
From cover to cover. God inspired his word. He preserved his word. And that's a copy of it right there. So, yeah. The other religions, I think you could find lots of serious flaws in them. Logical flaws, internal contradictions in their own books. Many of them inspired by one man who claimed he had a vision. Like Mormonism or Islam. One guy had a vision. They say with Muhammad, how do you know he was a prophet? He had a mole on his back. That's how he knew he was a prophet. He had a mole on his back. Holy moly. So anyway, I just can't believe that.
One guy had a vision, just like
yeah, and that's
Jesus.
Not getting into the rates that have.
I mean, yeah, so there are ridiculous claims made in Islam, but there are a lot of wacky things about Christianity too. Like, what is your point, Ken?
Yeah, I think so. So Kent has quite the amount of animals on his dinosaur Adventureland. Has anyone ever asked him to put up a few striped sticks?
I don't think so.
To see what happens, because his book says so, right? Isn't that what his book says?
It is.
You'd think that if you have a scientific, Bible-inspired dinosaur Adventureland, where granted has a few dinosaurs, but mostly just farm animals. You try that out.
Malnourished farm animals, underfed.
Yeah.
Farm animals.
Well, they only get fed if they want to eat them at Thanksgiving, like the emu.
Yeah, Aaron must have been offended when he heard that.
I didn't have the heart to. I didn't have the heart to tell Aaron. Honestly,
can't eat an emu. Yeah, I don't blame you.
I mean, he had to get rid of his one because of stupid neighbors and stuff like that. So, and he still misses the bird. So, yeah, I didn't have the heart to tell him.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put it past him to go to Dinosaur Adventureland and take Kent on a real tour in his Jeep.
That would be good to see.
Yeah.
You should have filmed it if you do that, Aaron.
Yeah.
Started teaching evolution in public schools. Unmarried spouses having children, that's on the rise. Depression, suicide rates, violent gang activity. It's all on the rise since they started teaching children that they have no future, they have no value, and they come from animals. You're right, Doc.
Yeah. So correlation does not equal causation in this case. It's just ridiculous to think that all of that is just because, well, this is when they started teaching evolution. Well, what other new things did they start around that same time? Like, you could just pick anything and say, well, you can link this to a gang activity and suicides and people being generally unhappy and dropping their ice cream cones,
or to Ecclesiastes 3:18, which tells you that humans are just animals, but they're too full of pride to admit that. Ecclesiastes 3:18. It's a book that is entirely true, according to Kent. Inspired by God. So this is what God said. Is he doubting that? Has anyone told him? I mean, his own book tells him he's an animal. You're muted. AJ? AJ has left the building. AJ should know it's not a good
I was
thing to
trying to let
have
you
me
filibuster,
me
Peter.
on the show and then leave me alone with the
I
audience.
thought I was trying to let you filibuster while I went into the other room, Peter.
Ah.
I thought you would just keep talking. Yeah.
No, I don't want to take over the entire show. I'm just trying to help out with Hovind here.
Yeah.
Someone should tell him about Ecclesiastes.
I'll let him know.
He'll be surprised.
On my video number 1, I go through all the charts of what happened since the early 60s, 1960s, when evolution became the popular theme in all of our. I got a huge collection around me of science textbooks. I love science. I got biology, earth science.
Wrong. No. Since the early 60s, that is when the current flavor of young Earth creationist gained track. So, no. And guess who started the whole thing? The Jehovah's Witnesses. They wrote an entire book, and every single Christian young Earth creationist has been using literally everything in that book. Apart from, we found one thing that I hadn't heard. I forgot, but there was one claim that they made that I haven't heard from Christians. Otherwise, all the claims were there. Nothing new. Nothing he came up with himself. So, nah. He's wrong again.
Physics. The evolution theory became, the number of words in the average book exploded after the early 60s. And I cover why on video number 1. But that's when we began to see a great rise in premarital sex, teen suicide, all kinds of things. It's a direct correlation. We're teaching the kids they're an animal.
Hold on.
And we
AJ.
Duh.
What is he talking about? The number of words in books exploded?
He meant to say that the number of times evolution was mentioned in textbooks went higher and higher. That's what he meant to say.
Okay, I just thought that he was saying that books were getting larger.
I think it's a bad thing.
Yeah, well, for him it is. I mean,
he doesn't want to have to learn words.
He doesn't read them, but he has to lift them to put them on his shelf and tell people that, hey, I've got all these books that I haven't read. So.
I ask atheists all the time, how do you tell right from wrong? They don't know. I say, would it be wrong for you to go next door and kill your neighbor's baby and eat it? Yeah. I said, well, the lion does it to the zebra all the time.
Yeah, well, we're not lions, Kent. So why are you comparing human morality to something that lions do in the jungle?
Yeah. Bit funny coming from the guy who calls himself a chicken-eating Baptist, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're his neighbors. They run around in DAL. They're his neighbors. He still
Would it be
eats
right
them.
for you to go into a chicken coop and take the chicken's baby, take its egg, and eat it? Would that be wrong?
Yes.
That's a good question
That's
to
an
ask.
unborn baby that you're aborting.
Mm-hmm.
Go next door, kill the baby zebra, and eat it. I tell you what, if you really want to be consistent, you atheists, I will pay for the sign for you to go over to Africa and hold it up in front of the lions. Stop eating zebra babies. I'll pay for that sign for you to go do that. That'd be fun to see, wouldn't it, Joseph?
Oh no, we couldn't have that. All right, so the best places to find you, we have you on Vimeo, Twitch, Daily Motion. You're on Facebook, Kent Hovind Official. Your Rumble channel's really successful in taking.
Kent is on Grindr. He's on furaffinity.com. He's on DeviantArt. He's on goats.cx. He's on all the sites. Goats/Kent Hovind. Goatsy.
Taking off. You're on TikTok, and we have you on Brighton. But by far, the most important, in my opinion, is
Goatsy/Kent Hovind. That's the most important.
the Kent Hovind TV. And the reason is all those other platforms can censor you and they can take Kent Hovind off the air, just like YouTube has done multiple times. But the Kent Hovind app is ran by you. They cannot take that off the air. So I strongly encourage all of you guys to go to your televisions, go to your app store, find KentHovind.tv. You won't regret it. And for $1 a year, you can't afford not to. Now, Doc,
Well, for those that maybe doesn't matter, the name Hovind is a Norwegian name. I didn't pick it. Grandpa did, okay? Came over from Norway.
Yeah, well, did Grandpa pick it? I don't know if he did.
He changed his name from, I forget what it was before he changed it to Hovind, because that was the village he came from. So Hovind, H-O.
He was the village idiot.
Yeah. So,
V-I-N-D.
I mean, it's just too bad that his grandfather didn't come from hell, right? I mean,
That's where he's going.
that's Norwegian too.
Yeah.
I always have to spell it out for people. It's a Norwegian.
You have to spell the name Hovind for people? Are they dumb? Well, I guess most of the people that come to DAL. No, just kidding.
Name. I've never been to Norway. I don't speak well. Sprechen Sie Norwegian.
I've never been to a library.
Sprechen Sie Norwegian. That's German, Kent.
Yeah.
You know, like the guy that did awful things in Norway. just saying.
Ufta. But that's so. Kent Hovind TV. We want to help. Listen, I tell people if you watch my videos, three things I'm trying to accomplish. Number one, I want
I'm
to
gonna throw up.
faith in the Word of God. Number two, if you're not saved, I want to get you saved. Number three, if you're saved and you're not doing much for the Lord, I want to make you uncomfortable.
If you're not shaved, I want to get you shaved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you'll watch these videos,
That might be more likely.
because it's the truth of God's Word. But when you're done watching, you're going to say, "Wow, the Bible is the Word of God." And then about a week later, you're going to sit up in bed in the middle of the night and say, "Oh no, the Bible's the Word of God. This changes everything." Yeah, it does. Watch it. Make all the copies you want. Spread them out to you. Don't sell it. It's my intellectual property, but I give you permission to copy it and give it away many times if you want. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
And you stand on that guarantee. And I'll tell you what, the content that you produce and put out is only half of the ministry. The other half of the ministry is Dinosaur Adventureland. That's located in Lenox, Alabama, directly north of Pensacola. Tell us about your ministry. Tell us about Dinosaur
And abusing
Adventureland,
wives.
updates of what's happening down there.
Right?
Yeah,
And
give us the
abusing
update,
wives.
Kent. Where's Sandra? Update us on that, because I don't see her here. So where's Sandra?
Yeah, I mean, the first few days it was so funny. There were so many Sandra Hovinds in his chat, and they all got banned for some reason.
That's funny. Yeah, I wonder why.
Well, when I was a brand new Christian, February 9th, 1969, 56 years ago when I got saved, right away I'm faced with the problem of the dinosaurs. By the way, what do you think, Stephen? My dinosaur microphone holder. Is that pretty cool or what?
I've noticed it on a few of your streams, and I love that.
I was brand new Christian, majoring in math and science. My dad's an engineer. My oldest brother became an engineer. My mom was a public school teacher. My second brother became a public school teacher. We love learning. We love teaching, stuff like that. I'm reading my
That's
Bible,
why you can't write.
and I'm taking all the math and science classes I can in high school. Ended up majoring in math and science, and ended up teaching at 15 years, high school. I'm reading my
AJ,
Bible, and it says, wait a minute.
AJ, do you remember that when he got out of prison that he wrote a book? Whoa, what on earth is going to happen, for heaven's sake?
Yeah, I do. I wonder if this is the real
Do you
Ken
remember
Hovind.
that? Do you remember that he put out his first batch of books with a hardcover, and then they had to wait for the second edition because he had his then secretary take out all of the spelling mistakes and correct the punctuation, and that took her almost a year.
Oh, I didn't know about that part. I remember that he wrote the Woe book while he was in jail, and now he charges like $100 for those DVDs.
Yeah, if you
You're
can
not
get your
with it.
hand on one of the first edition books, that should be a blast to read that on a stream.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's the son of a teacher, and he can't write.
I'm just wondering
Just
about
saying.
where Kent majored in math and science. What does that mean? Where did he major in math and science? Like, how do you know? I'd love for him to elaborate on this. Of course, he never will.
I think he worked in the cafeteria as a major D or something.
The Bible says Adam is 130 when his son is born. Yeah. And then he lived 800 years after that. How do you live to be 900? That became a question for me as a new Christian. But being a loving math and science, I made a graph of all the dates that are given right there in the Bible. Adam is 130 when his son is born, and that boy is 105 when his son is born. The numbers, read Genesis 5, they're all right there. Then you go after the flood. Here's the flood right here. And you get more dates in Genesis chapter 11. And so you can add them up. It comes to the earth being created about 4000 BC, before Christ, so 6,000 years ago. That's what it says. But I'm being taught the earth is billions of years old in school. And I said, wait a minute. If the earth is 6,000 years old, where do dinosaurs fit into the picture? It was a real puzzle for me for years as a young Christian. I struggled with that. And it's so simple. Before the flood came, the people lived to be 900. Reptiles never stopped growing. What would happen to a lizard if he could live to be 900? Dinosaurs were big lizards with Adam and Eve.
Yeah,
No.
except the lizards that we have today,
And then Noah took.
we tend to see them as animals that are cold-blooded, that are slow-moving, because they have to get their heat from basking in the sun. When we, like paleontologists now, know that there's lots of evidence that ancient dinosaurs were warm-blooded and were
We're not
quite
lizards.
agile, quick. Yeah, we're not, lizards the way that Kent seems to think of. They were fast. They had hollow bones. They had feathers. They could fly. They could move quickly.
You had some pretty big lizards in history too. Several of them were you found in the sea. So I mean, yeah, there were big lizards, but those weren't dinosaurs.
Oh, we have Nick joined the stream. How are you doing, Nick? It's good to see you.
It's
been
good
a
to
while.
see you too. Yeah, it's been a while.
Hi, Nick.
No, I saw Kent pop on the chat there, and I thought, well, let's see if he'll come on and say hi. But in the meantime, hi everybody. It's good to see all you guys, and hope everyone's doing well. Hi, Stacy.
I mean,
Yeah.
for Dr. Dino to hop on here, you'd have to explain to him what a StreamYard link is, how to find it in the chat, how to click on it, how to make it work, and how to get your audio piped through, because that seems to be a terrible issue there.
I don't know. It linked right through my Google account and brought me on, and good to go on my phone. So
Yeah, but his tech guys aren't evolved. That's the problem.
yeah. He got rid of the ones he shouldn't have, but whatever.
We have Sith Emperor as well. How are you doing?
Greetings, AJ. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, just fine. I just decided to hop on the stream just to say a little bit. So it's very weird to been following your work for so long and still never joined a stream of yours.
That's true.
Regardless, I'm just here to react to Kent.
Yeah, I saw some of your questions earlier. What's your? I mean, do we just call you Sith or first name? I mean,
Yeah, Sif is just fine. There's no.
All right, Sith. Well, I'm
other
Nick.
way.
It's nice to meet you in audio at least. But yeah.
All right,
I don't know
let's get into
how long
the.
you been following AJ for now.
I believe there's been 2 years now.
Oh, okay, so you know most of everything going on.
Yeah, just because of because AJ took a sabbatical. I mean, a deserved one. Let's be honest. Who wants to hear Kent so long? And just about the same thing. Like I also followed Emma Thorne, and when Emma posted about Kent Hovind, I was like, oh yeah, AJ used to do that. Well, I wonder what happened to him. And well, here I am.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I watched a lot of you guys too, and Claude and everyone else, and Ken kind of texted me and asked the other day. He's like, "Oh, so now you support atheists?" And I was like, "Well, no, I support truth. I support people that treat me with respect and kindness, and that tell the truth. And the only reason I still even text with you is because of our relationship over the many many years. But at the same time, I'm not gonna not tell the truth. I'm not gonna speak up. And AJ has been amazing to me. Stacy, we got to meet her and hang out. Like everyone has just been awesome. And it actually, as a believer, it breaks my heart to see we're supposed to live as an example. We're not supposed to be the problem and the shame. And AJ is very smart. We disagree on creation, evolution, and other things, but at the same time, he's never been rude. He's never been disrespectful. He's always been there when I call and we talk, and he's a good friend. And I really appreciate the time that we have gotten to talk and spend together. So, it just, especially as someone that claims to be a pastor, claims to be someone who wants to save AJ, and then made that Rumble video, I was very upset about that. It was like, wow, that was just so inappropriate. And I'm sorry. I'm going to tell the truth. That was inappropriate. That was really, really awful to say. And, as a pastor, you're supposed to live as an example. And actually, AJ and Claude and everybody else, they've been nothing but kind and amazing and wonderful. We can disagree on intellectual ideas, but we don't have to call names and be disrespectful and treat each other poorly. And and that's why I love this group, because even with our disagreement on creation and evolution, I don't say that there's no science to what they believe or what the evidence they put together. My only thing is the way I interpret it is differently, but I don't go say well, you're stupid and you're dumb. And no, that show me where in the Bible it says to do that. It doesn't. So it's just everyone in this community has been amazing to me and my wife and my family. I love all you guys, and all you've done is stand for truth. All you've done is expose things that are going on, making sure people aren't getting hurt. And what else can I say? So thank you.
Well, thanks for saying all that, Nick. I have to give a shout out to the people who sort of kept things going while I was sort of taking a break from YouTube, like Karisu and Claude and some of these other people who got mentioned in that article. I have been happy to inspire some people to make channels on YouTube. Like I encouraged Grayson and Mr. Anderson to start channels, and you look how far Grayson's gone with his his platform. And I was thinking that, that Rumble video, it didn't really bother me, but I could see how, I'm sort of jaded to this stuff with Kent. I'm used to it, but I could see how it would be shocking for, other people to see that video. Because it does seem like Kent sort of crossed a line at some points.
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So, again, you guys, as he says, atheists tend to be more respectful and kind and more amazing to people who disagree with you intellectually than the person calling himself a preacher. And this is where, like, when I do talk to Ken, I'm like, Ken, come on, man. You preach this in your sermons. You preach this. When's the last time your son saw you get on your knee and say, I was wrong? When's the last time, your family learned from you and saw what you did? But then your actions aren't showing that. And I'm sorry. I'm not a lackey. I'm not a guy at your, DAL anymore. All right. I'm going to tell the truth. If you still want to talk to me, fine. But don't think for 1 second I'm not going to tell you what I think and what I think is wrong and what's going on. And what you did was absolutely wrong. And it breaks my heart. And, if you actually got to know AJ and you got to know all these guys, you'd realize they would have had an intellectual conversation with you. You guys could have gone back and forth. But when you start throwing in insults and all these other things, what do you expect to happen? And even then, AJ, you still held your composure. You've still been so kind and respectful. And you could have been a lot worse and you didn't, you're right. I mean, and that just shows. And that's just sad, right? As someone who's supposed to be a preacher and honorable and an example is going the exact opposite. And that's where it's like, whoa, you preach one thing and then your actions show another. And sorry if I call you out on that. I'm sorry. Right?
Yeah. So
That's just
now in the
reality.
chat, we have different accounts claiming to be Kent Hovind, and we also have one of Eric Hovind. So I don't know what's going on. But yeah, let's get in some more of this Kent Hovind reaction.
You do know I'm here, right?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, sure. Yeah, just to
AJ?
ask a quick question. Oh,
Yeah.
Someone else wants to talk, please.
What do you? Yeah,
AJ.
I know you're here, Peter.
No,
So,
I saw
and you're
Eric
still
Hovind
wondering about the
official. Is that
accounts.
Eric Hovind? Is this really Eric Hovind official?
I don't know what you mean, Eric. Peter, what do you mean?
Oh, I saw something that said Eric Hovind official.
Yeah, I that's probably a soft account, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who would that be, AJ?
now I get it. Okay.
Kind of big, aren't they?
Who would Kent Hovind official be?
And Noah was 600 years old. I bet he was smart enough to figure out, I don't have to bring the biggest ones. Bring 2 babies. Just be sure to get a pink one and a blue one. And after the flood, people killed most of them. They called them dragons. Or they died off in the new climate. They couldn't survive because lifespans dropped off to 400 and then 200. Something happened. I covered all that in video number 2.
Please.
So anyway, dinosaurs were a great...
I'm sure people have brought up this, but again, what is the damn point of saving every animal that lives, every creature alive, if they just won't be able to adapt to the new climate and go extinct after the damn flood? What is the point of all of this?
I don't.
It is almost.
I guess my thought. Sorry,
No. I understand. I understand what you're saying, but
no, my thought on this would be, there's obviously variations. There's obviously different. There's still remnants of those today, right? Like as the environment changes, as things change, there's obviously still remnants. Now, again, this is where I differ with Kent and other creationists on this. Is I'm not disregarding the evidence or the way you guys interpret it or the way you put things. I'm not going to say I've seen it. I went through college myself. I just personally, from my faith, I interpret it differently. But yes, there are variations. There are probably still some remnants left over from that.
I don't know.
Most
Yeah,
of
I
them have
understand.
changed and lost information and gotten smaller and different. And we probably still have variations of it today, like the Bombadar beetle that, spits out chemicals with, but sure, is it further away from that? Do I know how long it's been? No, none of that. So the difference is I'm not going to call you guys idiots and say, how dare you believe that? I just, personally, from my faith, makes more sense to look at it this way. So
I don't know.
why
I
not have
understand
an
what you're
intellectual
saying.
conversation on it? You know?
I'm just saying what you're saying, but like it's one of those things of like the way that Kent Hovind describes how the flood and the creation and all of
Oh
those
yeah,
things,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
is a very simplistic way to look at it. Like even that's why I generally like if you go at least to Ken Ham or other like the Creation Institute and stuff, they at least try to embellish the whole thing. Like they try to go into some details. I don't think it is enough, mind you. Like I'm still
Sure. Yeah.
from like the stuff they say, I'm still like, okay, this isn't a valid explanation in my view. But like what disappoints me in Ken Hovind, it is like he's a guy who has been stuck for like he made up his mind 30 years ago,
So
maybe even more. I don't know
I
when
can
he
I can
started
answer this from a
actually.
personal level. So back when I was
No, but like
there, no,
let me just
let me answer this.
let me
I
just
pointed
finish
at.
with
Okay, you finish, and
the
then
whole
I'll go
statement,
ahead.
please. Yeah, like the whole thing that I mean is Kent Hovind seems like a guy who got stuck like 30, 40 years ago. He had the information from William Morris, Henry Morris, my bad, and other people at the time, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this makes sense because of course evolution is not true." And then he never again opened a damn book or even learned from any of his debates. As in, maybe something changed in those past decades. Maybe the explanation that I came up with, or that Henry Morris came up with 30, 40 years ago, maybe that explanation isn't as valid, or isn't as embellished, or elaborated, or smooth as I thought it was. Maybe I should rework that. No, he's just a parrot that learned a few talking points and he just keeps on going on that. And that's basically what happens on every single debate with Kant, as AJ will gladly confirm to us.
Well, that's where I was gonna say. I let you finish. No, I agree with you 100%. I used to when I first went there, I used to sit across from him and I would try to point out certain things, and then he said, "Oh, I'm gonna update all my videos. I'm gonna update this," and I'm like, the mammoth results, they're not correct. It's been proven wrong. I actually watched some debunkers videos, and I'm like, look, this article here and this article here. I'm like, why don't you update this? Why don't you change this? Why don't you? Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. Or we'll make a new video series, and I'm like, okay. So we started the Genesis series. I helped with them on, and then he was gonna redo all his other stuff and update everything. Never happened. Never changed it. I mean, I personally showed him where a lot of the stuff was wrong, and I'm like, I don't understand why you won't update this and change this. And this is where my frustration started coming in with him because, like you said, it's like he's stuck from 20, 30 years ago. He won't update it. He won't admit it. He won't change it. And it's like, whoa, if you really believe this, you really think this, why wouldn't you change with the times and learn and grow? That's what science does. This is what the community does. We learn new things, and then we go, oh wait, how can this change? What's different here? How do we grow on this? And no, I would agree 100% with you. And that's where, like AJ says, is this just a grift? And it's like, well, since he's not changing, he's not growing, he's not updating, this is where, he's just taking the easy route out. Like you said, even the other creation institutes are trying, but even then, where I disagree with them on is why can't you admit that what they're studying and doing is a reasonable thought and then just say, hey, I just interpret it differently? Why does it have to be you're dumb, you're wrong, you're stupid? I don't understand that. Even Jesus in the Bible didn't do that himself with the tax collectors. He never treated anybody that way. So that's one of the reasons I connected with this community is because of how they treat me and my family and other people, and then we can have intellectual conversations, and I might go, hey, that's a good point, let me research it, let me find out. Like, I'm not going to sit there and be stuck on one thing only. And you're right, that's one of the issues I have with him. He just sticks on that, doesn't change anything. 30 years later, it's the same arguments, the same jokes, the same It's like, come on, man. Like, change something. And I personally pointed out multiple things where I showed him the articles, I showed him the stuff and said, look, this is wrong. This is not right. At least change this in this slide. At least when we create a new copy of this series, change this. Never happened.
Yeah, I appreciate that you actually brought up the mammoth thing to him, because I did a debate with Kent about carbon dating recently. I brought that up to him again, and he lied on the spot and tried to say that, they might have been different mammoths, but they were in a different strata, But all right.
Or the same strata or something
guys,
like that.
Claude,
Yeah, I know.
Claude
Yeah.
wants us to play the Kent video, so we have to.
Okay, Claude, we love you, Claude. Go ahead.
All right.
Puzzle to me as a young Christian. Where do they fit in? And its answer is so simple. So that's why I want to really emphasize that, because Satan is using God's creatures to turn boys and girls away from God. I'm sick of it. I may not win the war, but they're going to know I was out there fighting. I'm going to convert as many as I can.
Well, speaking of Noah's Ark, I happen to have heard a rumor that they're building one somewhere down there in Alabama.
Sorry.
What's that about, Doc?
Well, we are building a 1/3 scale model of Noah's Ark. 1/3 the length, 1/3 the width, 1/3 the height. We sold our old excavator and our gravel shaker. We had about $22,000. I said, hey, I've always wanted to build a model of Noah's Ark, to have tours in there and teach about the flood of Noah. It says in 2 Peter chapter 3, at the end of time, the scoffers who hate the Bible will be willingly ignorant of the creation and the flood and the coming judgment of God. 2 Peter 3:3.
Can you pause for 1 second?
Creation.
Okay, so he said they sold the excavator. I know personally that one of his members sunk the excavator like 12 feet in the ground. It got stuck. And then he had to basically give it away for the cost of pulling it out just to get it out of there. So they didn't really sell it for much. It was kind of a, hey, get it out of here and you can have it. And then same with the other thing. Just another twist on what really happened, trying to tell his donors how, I protect your money. And it's like, no, you really didn't. You let someone drive it into the ground, sunk it in the mud. It was stuck for like 4 months or 3 or 4 months. And then you had to have someone come out and pull it and then basically in trade for the cost of removing it. So that's what happened with that. Anyway.
I still wonder what he got for all those broken cars that he tried to sell a while ago.
That I don't know.
Literally,
it's been too long.
He did an entire video. There was not a single vehicle that actually ran that he wanted to sell.
Yeah, that seems to be a trend. Their vehicles are always broken down for some reason. It's because Kent drives them into the ground.
Well,
yes.
and then to talk about, the mechanic that died. That was actually the Osris was a wonderful guy. He was struggling, and then to just blow it off and act like it breaks my heart, because it's like, wow, another person you just don't care, you just pass over, and it breaks my heart on that, because I knew him. He struggled with addiction. He struggled with a lot of stuff. I knew him from way back when I was years ago, and he was still there, I guess, doing mechanic stuff, and act like, well, he just passed away, and we're gonna sell this, and no big deal. It's like, well, no. What about the respect for his wife and family? And yeah.
Yeah, he actually had the gall to pass away in the middle of a repair job.
Yeah, right.
Must have been frustrating.
And not even, he wasn't even charging for it. He was just over there helping out too. And they just sell it off, and I was like, we just can't do it now. And I don't know. It just, these people give years of their life, years of their time. So. And Lazarus, he was a very, very sweet, kind guy, but he struggled with his issues. With, it just to hear the way he talks about it was so no care.
Well,
he was there for years and years. So
that's the sort of hidden cost of DAL, because Kent doesn't see it that way. He just sees people as, what can I get out of these people? But there are so many people who've been involved at DAL who, have had things, like people have passed away, or people have been there and come away with a lot of bad things to say about Kent, like Mark Stoney, or maybe, I don't know if you would, you definitely have negative experiences with Kent, like you were just talking about, him, ignoring, coming to you about the mammoth thing and changing the slides, and he blows it off. And one of the people that I worry about that is Pastor Meister. I think his wife, who is has dementia, and she's there at DAL. And I just wonder about what quality of care she's getting. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. I've never heard that one yet, but
yeah,
I'm wondering
that
if
mama
Ken
would know
gets
more.
paid for that. I'm wondering if Ken gets paid for that.
well, I look. I
got it.
will say this. Kent does. If you ask for something, you help. He's not. I don't think he's put millions of dollars in his pocket. I don't. I've never seen that. Never seen him be that way. I will say that. I've never seen him be inappropriate with kids. I will say that personally, from the years and time I've been around. But his nonchalantness with Betty Bryan, with Chris Jones, it's like, whoa, what is going on? This is inappropriate. Like, this is not okay. And then, it just, and then the way he treats other people publicly online. And I mean, even you, AJ, that Rumble video, I mean, I was watching it. I know it didn't bother you so much, and I'm proud of you for that. But it really bothered me. That was, he doesn't even know you, talking about this. And it's like, little as you haven't even been with a man. He didn't, like, it's none of his business anyway. But the point is just, why? Why is there so much anger, like, towards a man you claim you want to save, and that's the way you're going to talk? And that's why I posted the comment. That's why I told him the same thing. That broke my heart. Like, you're supposed to be an example, and instead you're so opposite. You don't do anything that you preach or say. What is going on here? And I know what's going on here. It's just, what do, right? You call him out, you tell him what's wrong, and then that's it. I mean, what else can you do?
Yeah, I mean, Kent's set in his ways. He's going to keep acting this way until the day that he finally goes to heaven, as it were. So he's set in his ways.
I'm sorry, but
well,
God's
yeah,
supposed to change people and grow people. Like, if and I can't claim to know his heart and who he is. Can't claim that. But actions speak louder than words. You can say what you want. What do your actions show? Now, have I seen him be very forgiving? But other times I've seen him just ignore blatantly and just lie and twist, and it's like, sorry, that's just, you can only claim ignorance for so long. When is it that things are put right in front of you and you say, oh, I made a mistake, like he preached about? When's the last time your child saw you make a mistake? Okay, well, I've never seen you do that. I've never seen it happen. So, whoa,
Hey, Lupin.
So,
yeah, Lupin.
Lupin!
How's it going?
What y'all complaining about today?
Everything Kent, like always. No.
Not really complaining, just kind of getting a few chuckles out of Stephen Andrew just kissing Kent's ass.
Oh my God. That's the other thing too, is like, how can you sit there and complain about single, what did he say? What was the exact term he used with the women? Or what did he say? Unmarried women or something. We're having all these kids. It's like, wait, you're on your
people having babies out of wedlock.
Yeah. Something like
single
that.
mothers.
It's like, come on. And again, Kent knows this, but he doesn't mind using him because he's saying what he wants people to hear, right? So, I'm sorry.
Well, let's give Lupin the floor because they obviously joined for a reason. So, Lupin, what's on your mind?
I just saw that you were live. I just figured I'd join.
Yeah. So why are you saying that Kent has some sort of legal case against Emma Thorne? Because that seems wrong and untrue.
I just said that. I just asked if he would consider having an attorney just look into the reports to see if there's any foul play, not against any specific person. Maybe it's a group of people.
What do you mean by foul play?
Abuse of the system.
That's what I want to know.
How is reporting? If she encouraged her viewers to report Kent's channel, how is that abusing the report system?
Weaponizing your audience.
What?
But Kent was already banned. He had already been banned once, though.
He wasn't supposed to have another
Lupin,
channel.
did you agree with YouTube terms of service when you started your channel?
I don't know. It's changed since I started my channel.
Well, if you
Yeah,
continue
obviously,
with
but
your
you
channel,
get
you kept
updates.
agreeing with it. That's the whole thing.
I don't get any updates on YouTube's terms of service.
Everyone who has a channel gets an update when YouTube changes its terms of
Show me
service.
your
check your email.
show me your emails. Show me your emails.
Wait. Yeah, but these are
Wait,
basic terms.
chill out,
These
man.
are
Like,
basic
please.
terms.
What
Like,
you're
these
saying?
are basic. If you're banned, you can't come back. Those are basic. They've been there since the beginning, so you can't say it changed.
Yeah, this isn't even changed, as Shrunk said.
And Lupin, those terms of service, you can read those online. You just have to go to YouTube, or you put in Google YouTube terms of service, and you'll get the correct page, and you can read through it.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure there's rules
while,
against abusing the report system too. But
no, hold on.
Everyone
While
goes
you
by
are
the rules, don't they?
Who abused the report
While
system
you
by
are on
reporting a banned
YouTube,
person?
you are still agreeing with those terms of service, right?
Huh?
Because if you're not, you would just delete your channel. Isn't that correct?
I didn't understand what you said.
I said, so as long as you are still on YouTube, that means that you agree with the YouTube terms of service. If you don't agree with it, then you would just delete your channel.
Maybe by your logic. I don't know if anybody else follows that logic.
Everyone who is a YouTube follows that logic. That's the entire problem.
Hold on a second. Lupin, you would want to have a channel on a platform that has rules that you disagree with? Honestly?
I don't agree with YouTube's rules. I have a channel.
Yeah, but why then?
If you agree to terms of service and the company later changes it, the new terms become binding on you if you continue to use the service. Now they need to notify that they have to. No, that's how it works.
You guys follow the rules all the time. You guys never break the rules. I'm pretty sure you guys don't have people that go and record every.
Honestly,
Wait. So you're supporting
Lupin, if I break the rules of
I don't think whenever he was
hold on, Lupin, hold on.
I don't agree with this first ban.
Lupin,
reason for his first ban.
Hold on a second. If I break YouTube terms of service and you report me, I will applaud you for that. Because
I don't
then
pay
I have
attention
it
to your
coming.
channel.
Well, there's not much going on my channel. I'm too busy elsewhere. But
why was he banned the first time, Lupin? Why did he get? What was his reason for being banned the first time that you disagreed with?
Medical misinformation for talking about COVID.
Yeah, and so even if you disagree with that,
no, actually, it was
he
for
still
taking
broke the rules of the site.
It was for taking for telling people to take vitamins. The vitamins, like things like vitamin C, zinc, and other vitamins will help you get over.
Lupin, remind me what happened to the guy?
Misinformation or basics of common sense.
Hold on, Lupin. What happened to the guy that told Kent about the vitamins? Do you remember what happened to him?
He died
because
how did he die?
What?
I don't know.
I know.
You don't know.
He was hospitalized and they put him on a ventilator and he died 3 days later.
Okay.
Yes.
So
that sounds
what do you think he died of?
Like COVID, doesn't it?
Doesn't that sound
an awful lot like COVID?
I don't know.
Hold on, wait.
Oh, now suddenly Lupin doesn't know. It's fine. I understand how it is.
I don't know. I don't know why the dude died.
You know that
how come you don't know?
Okay, we need to
because I don't follow him like that.
Over talking each other. Okay, I don't have to.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But if you know that when people die of COVID, they're typically put on a ventilator, but leading up to their death because COVID causes people to get pneumonia and fluid in their lungs.
Yeah, people are put on ventilators for a number of what is I just had the word. It just got taken out of my brain for a second.
Yeah, but Luke, can I ask you something? Like, what about
respiratory? People get put on ventilators for a ton of different respiratory problem. So
What
I mean,
was
I don't know
the
if it was
main
smoke or
cause
not.
of people being
What's
put
the
on
dude?
ventilators at that time?
The main cause?
At that time, at that period of time,
I don't
why
know. I
were
don't know
so many people? No, 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 no.
when did the dude
It's a
die?
simple question. Why, at that
Mhm.
period of time, there were hundreds, maybe thousands of people who were being put on ventilators in hospitals all across the world? And
Okay.
your answer to that
2022.
is you
In
don't know.
2022?
You don't know why so many people were on ventilators at that period of
What was
time.
the cause of death? Did you
No,
see
no,
that?
no. I'm asking why were so many people in that period of time put on ventilators?
In 2022?
Yes, on
From
2022.
January 2020 to 2023 was the COVID pandemic.
Okay. So
Yes.
yeah. So yeah.
Right, so you're
So
saying this is all
So
just a coincidence?
could be. I don't know. I'm not the
And,
doctor.
okay, but just yesterday, I responded to a video Kent did about me, where he basically makes an offhanded comment saying how masks don't work to stop COVID. Yesterday, he said that.
Okay.
So it's bullshit to say that his medical misinformation was just talking about vitamins. Why are you playing dumb, Lupin? You know that Kent is anti-COVID.
It was
Anti-mask.
it was well known that he got banned for the whole seed thing, the seed, the chemical that's in the seed, cyanide, and a whole bunch of stuff that people just took out of,
That was also bad.
they just saw a little snippet and decided to jump on that and use that to their advantage and mass report on that,
Well,
coordinated.
at the end of the
you
day, it's
do
not your site.
understand.
It's not your site, Lupin, and that's the TOS. Kent
Let's
got
put
banned,
it
and
this
he
way.
came back and tried to, start another channel. You can't do that. So people reporting his new channel, that's not abusing the report feature. That's just reporting somebody who's evading their ban, who shouldn't be on the platform in the first place.
Am I supposed to Am I supposed to care that Kent, evaded a bullcrap ban in the first place? Are you trying to get
Yes,
me
you
to
should.
No, I know you
That's
don't
I
care,
don't,
but it's just you're just
care.
an idiot for saying that he's going to sue Emma Thorne. Like, that's so stupid.
Well, no, I said get a report on who reported the channel and see if there's multiple channels, multiple people that reported at the same time. See if there was any foul play. That's
Why
coordinated.
is that foul play?
That is also against YouTube's terms of service to use a report button. To use your
That's not
audience.
how it works.
Yes, it is
That's
how it
not
works.
what you're saying. No, 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 no. Let me put it this way. Let's say you go to a restaurant. Let's say it's a restaurant. And in this restaurant, there is a rule that you're not supposed to yell while being in the restaurant, or else you'll be kicked out. Let's say I go there with my wife, and then we start getting a discussion and we start yelling. And then we are yelling. That's bothering the other customers who are in the restaurant with us. They know that there is a rule against yelling. So then one of the customers stands up and realizes that the staff of the restaurant isn't kicking me and my wife out. So this person stands up and says, "Hey everyone, let's demand that the staff kick that couple out." And that person manages to lead everyone in the restaurant to kick me and my wife out of the restaurant. Is that foul play?
Probably. I don't know. Probably not.
Congratulations, Emma Thorne didn't do foul play. You understand perfectly what happened.
Sure.
Congratulations, Lupin. You were fucking honest for once.
Who's that? Oh, Kurisu?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, it's Kurisu. Remember you did a stream with us? You don't remember, Lupin? That was a fun stream.
Yeah, the one where he was laughing about the thing and then he took it back because some of his audience got heard about it.
Oh, when you played the wrong video? that you
Yeah,
had
it was
played?
the wrong video. It was a clip.
What video did you mean to play then?
It's a 30-second clip, and it's the same interview.
So it was the wrong video. It
Yeah.
was just from the wrong part of that video.
Yeah.
Oh. Why didn't you pause the video and stop it from playing?
Because I thought it was gonna play that part. You know, I don't remember every 30-second clip from years that I saw it ago.
I mean, it was your clip that you were sharing.
Yeah, I just typed it in YouTube, and I thought that was the clip where I wanted the specific part. It wasn't that specific part.
You're wrong. Should have tried harder.
Yeah, I just think it's funny how much you ride Kent's dick.
You're the one making the video on him right now.
Okay, that's like such a weak argument.
You're the one that's constantly talking about him.
You made a video, and Kent's made videos about me, and you've made videos about me, and I've made videos about you. Who cares? We're on YouTube.
Well, your definition of on dick is, I don't even want to know, to be honest.
Lupin, do you really think that I went on your channel and had a mental breakdown, and it's because of you that I didn't post on YouTube for a while?
Probably.
Lupin, so what does it mean that you made 2 videos about me?
What videos?
I'm just curious. You made 2 videos about me.
2 videos out of hundreds of videos?
At least two that I'm aware of.
That means I really don't think about you too much out of 500
the
videos.
Ratio matters now.
It means
it's not just making videos, the ratio of videos.
2 out of 500 videos.
You think more about. Hold on. It means you think more about me than AJ. AJ hasn't made a single video about me yet.
It's just such a dumb thing to say that you're making a video about somebody that somehow invalidates what you're saying.
You're the one. You're the one. You know, saying I'm obsessed with somebody. You know, it's like
when did I say that?
You said you said it in a very perverted way. I don't want to repeat it.
I said, okay. I said that you claimed that it was because of you that I didn't post on YouTube for like a few weeks. And that's just stupid. You're so full of shit, Lupin. You want to try and take credit for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. If it makes you feel better, it was totally because of the stream that you and me did. That's why I didn't come on YouTube.
Okay.
All right.
I hope you're feeling better.
I am. I'm actually in a much better mental headspace than I
I'm a strong
was.
believer in the canopy.
Because Trump won the presidency, right?
Been able to do what I want with the flood. So we're going to have this ark full of pictures of.
How's the price of eggs coming where you live, Lupin?
No, that has contributed to me not being in a positive mental headspace. So I don't know why.
The cost of eggs and the cost of everything has been rising for the past 4 years. You can't pin that on Trump whenever he hasn't been in office in a month.
You can't pin that on Trump when he said he's going to fix that. He said he was going to fix that on day one. Remind me, Lupin.
He's working on it.
Day one going to be?
He's working on it.
If you raise
day
tariffs
one, when is day one?
If you raise tariffs on imported goods, and therefore the goods of those prices goes up, the prices for those things go up because the consumer, the cost is passed on to the consumer. How is that not Trump's fault?
Oh, then you could just make your products in America.
No, these are imports.
We don't need imports. What do we need imports from Canada for? What do we need imports
because you can't grow those in America.
We should just cut ourselves off from other countries and just make everything here. That's not possible.
If it's very wasteful, then sure, yeah, we can do. Please, America is the most.
Where are we going to get the rare earth metals for your cell phone?
America is one of the most mineral. We can get that in Arkansas.
You can do without
America's the most.
You can do without Teslas.
America, I can't do without Tesla. I can't do without Tesla. Hardly anyone wants electric vehicles anyway.
Lupin, let me ask you.
They're
something,
no longer
Lupin.
called Teslas, by the way. They're called swastikars.
Yes, Lupin. Let me ask you something. Okay,
I never heard anybody call them that.
Items that are manufactured. You think of whatever. It's going to be vague, but I got a point where I'm going. Who makes the things you go and buy in stores? What would you say are type of entity is behind those things existing.
What do you want me to say? Corporation?
Yeah, that would be the word. So
Oh,
here's the thing.
Corporations are bad. Corporations that hire thousands, hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, okay, you can ramble on.
Go ahead, finish
Here's
your
the
point.
thing. So they're the ones making the calls on how all this stuff is done. They're the ones who are profit driven, which is understandable. That's the nature of them existing. But they want to pinch pennies everywhere they can. Now, you know as well as I do.
Everybody?
Now, you know as well as I. Yeah, that's the nature of life because of the way things are. Sure. But I'm not going to get into the corporations aren't people spiel because that would be fun, but it's a wasted argument with you. No, here's the thing. So if the corporations are the ones, you know, that their goal is to make as much money as they can, where is labor more expensive? In the United States or in China? In the United States or in Mexico?
Oh, under the previous administrations and under a lot of administrations, it's been much cheaper to produce things overseas, especially in China and Mexico. And Trump is giving us bonuses for making things in America right now.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. No, it's nothing to do with the administrations, buddy. It has everything to do with the nature of geopolitics and the nature of other countries. Simply as you want to tout how great America is, yeah, in a weird roundabout way, our success kind of screwed us over on the principles of, hey, you got to pay us an actual decent ass wage. I know we can shaft American workers and sell and get all our manufacturing assets overseas. And then we can bring this stuff in cheap, sell it at Walmart, and then rake in a ton of money. Then these tariffs come in. We can't make the stuff cheap anymore. So we got to make it domestically. We're going to knock prices up, or we're just going to throw the tariffs into the prices anyway and say, who gives a fuck? Because, you know, let the people pay it. None of it works out like you think it's going to, man.
We've yet to see it.
And we won't see it.
Okay, well,
just like last Trump presidency. It was a fucking joke.
What are you talking about? Trump did more in his last 4 presidencies than the other presidents that we've had in the past 5 years or 5
for inflation and national debt. Yes.
And deaths
we didn't have any wars.
Deaths of citizens and domestic terrorism and you know.
Let's not overtalk each other, guys. Yeah. I have a question for you, Lupin. Just if you guys are done, what does the U.S. have to import? Like, what should the U.S. do if we don't want to import tin and platinum?
What should we do?
Can we grow tin in America?
We can mine tin in America.
No, we can't. No, you cannot. No, you cannot.
It's not here, buddy.
You're saying there's no tin in America?
There's no tin in America. Not in the continent of North America, no.
Is there a replacement that we could use for tin, like aluminum?
No.
Not that I know of.
Imported tin.
I mean, if there is, then I haven't heard of it. And we kind of use tin for a lot of things, like, you know, canned goods.
We use aluminum for that.
Well, we use both. And
where's the
it's just my point is that there are things that we have to import that we can't just grow in America, and it's your response is just kind of ridiculous anyway, because the U.S. is never going to stop importing stuff. And you didn't really answer my question that if Trump raises the tariffs on imported goods, doesn't that cost get passed over to the consumer? And can't that be blamed on Trump? Because inflation increased 3% in January, and that's when Trump got into office.
Yeah, there's gonna be okay. Whenever you make changes, it doesn't all happen at once, you know. And Besides, do you think that Trump just is a single track mind only and only has, he's going to remove something and not replace it with another thing, or has a plan to balance these things out? Trump is
He said it would go down. He said it would go down. He said it would cut it as soon as he got into office.
Trump is a billionaire. Trump is a billionaire. I think he knows a little bit more about finances than you. Let him work out.
Who went
Trump knows
bankrupt 4
jack about
times.
fiddly shit.
Yeah. He went bankrupt 4 times. He bankrupted America last time he was president. He's going to bankrupt it again. This one's going to.
Why am I listening to a dude in the Netherlands talk about false claims about America? He didn't bankrupt America. What are you talking about?
Because we're benefiting from Trump being president. Because the dollar will make Europe. Because the dollar will be worth less and the euro will be worth more. So our economy goes up.
Okay, good for y'all.
And
just because
yours goes down.
Just because your economy goes down. That's not the way it works. Just because your economy goes up.
That is the way it works.
No, it doesn't. No, two economies can rise at the same. Two economies can be on the uprise at the same time. They're not mutually reliable on each other.
You don't have a lot of knowledge about economy, right?
You live in the Netherlands. Why are you saying that Trump bankrupted America? That's a lie. You're wrong on everything.
If people spend the money in Europe instead of in America,
guys, let's switch gears.
America's not benefiting.
Let's switch topics for a second. Lupin, do you agree with Trump? Do you agree with Kent and his claims when he was supporting the January 6th protesters, or basically criminals who got arrested, and he basically said that they were like
political prisoners?
He called them patriots.
They were political.
Yeah, he said they were patriotic.
They're political. Yeah, they're political prisoners. I'm glad that they got pardoned. And they shouldn't have been.
Why are you glad?
They shouldn't have been imprisoned. They shouldn't have been.
Why should they have not been imprisoned? They were especially police officers.
For the amount of time that they got in jail for a moment of let's say American outrage, because there's so much fishiness that was gone on with January 6th.
Terrorism?
No, there was no terrorism. It was people. Please, those people were just Americans that wanted their voice heard and did something.
Yeah, who committed treason and should have been prosecuted further by my standards.
What do you? Well,
how many people
you're not
killed?
Oh yeah, attacking the Capitol. That's totally not treason. What the fuck is wrong with you, Luke?
Yeah, we the people own the Capitol, and the only person that got murdered was a U.S. Air Force officer that was in the crowd stopping them. She was the only person that got murdered. She got murdered by Capitol Police.
So it's only treason if a certain quantity of people die. I mean, is that the logic you're going with? It's not the action itself. I mean, what the hell are you trying to talk about,
What's
Lupin?
the definition of treason?
The only
Why don't you look it up and tell me?
Because you're making the accusation. Lupin. They would have killed more people. That was their intent.
They were going after Mike Pence, for fuck's sake.
What is this, Minority Report? That doesn't hold up. They could have, would have, should have. Doesn't hold up in court.
Yeah, it does.
It's on video.
Lupin, what the fuck? So, just attempting to shoot somebody isn't attempted murder according to you. That's the logic you're using. You fucking retard.
What?
Jesus fucking Christ, you're an idiot. You just fucking said attempting to do something isn't actually doing it. Therefore, by your logic, attempted murder isn't murder. Attempted rape isn't rape. Attempted treason isn't treason. What the fuck?
No.
You're the biggest fucking retard I've seen.
You're
taking what I said out of context.
If Americans want to speak their voice, they do that by voting and participating in their own civil.
That's how you do it.
There was
you don't go to the White House with a bunch of guns or the Capitol with a bunch of guns.
There were zero guns involved with the January 6th protesters. There was no guns at all.
That's just a lie.
Yeah, and
Tell me the report.
He asked about the definition of treason. Just went through everything. I hit Miriam.
The Proud Boys leader flashed a gun.
Yeah,
the Proud Boys leaders was not in that crowd.
Okay.
Let me just
Do you know why the Proud Boys leader got arrested?
Somebody was held at gunpoint.
treason.
No.
Like, what are you talking
Wrong.
about, dude?
It was for crossing straight state lines with a weapon. That was it.
You're saying there were no guns. You
No gun,
yourself
no-
admitted
nobody-
that somebody died by a gunshot.
Because the police officer shot the person. The police had the guns.
Well, that's fair. Okay, I'll grant you that one. But
you
still,
silly guy.
they're saying there were no guns there.
I'm just wondering, the police officer who got beaten to death on camera, he didn't die?
There were nobody got murdered except for
He
woman.
got beaten to death with flagpoles with Trump flags on it, and he didn't
The
die?
police officer had a stroke after getting attacked.
Maybe he wasn't fit for the job.
No.
You have to be fit.
Fit.
You have to be able to take a beating from I don't know, 10 guys with wooden poles, and then you're qualified to be a cop. Are you serious?
Fucking incredible, Lupin. Jesus, that fancy Christ. So anyway, a second ago, you asked for the fucking definition of treason. First one pops up from Merriam-Webster. The offense of attempting to overt acts to overthrow the government of the state to which the offender owes allegiance, or to kill or personally injure the sovereign or the sovereign's family. January 6th was an attempted coup, was attempted treason. It was an attempt to overthrow the process because these paranoid conspiracy theorist nut jobs thought that, the election was stolen, You know what you didn't see January 20th of this year, Lupin, is the Democrats doing the same, because we're not fucking mental. Eat a dick.
I gotta play this clip for Lupin. Lupin.
You are out of here.
Oh.
I booted Lupin.
Yep.
That's some.
Congratulations. This is the first time y'all have started to see me get kind of indignant. He'll make another 5 videos on me.
The short from Big Bad Mama that I saw.
Yes.
Related to this, because this is when I originally saw this, and it's a very good short. And Kent actually got challenged by a caller. He had one of his call-in shows about this, and they called Kent out for this stuff, and Kent was totally backpedaling because the guy brought up the rioters like assaulting cops and stuff, and Kent totally waffled on his point. Let's see, where is this?
So AJ, can I give you a little point of criticism?
Sure.
You shouldn't go online making it obviously that you're fascinated by Big Bad Mama's shorts, because I'm pretty sure Kent Hovind is going to make a video about that. Just saying.
You would take 2 girls, walk down the street.
Not this.
You would take 2 girls, walk down the street.
No. Dang it. I had the short I wanted to play. Here we go. Here we go.
4 years ago tonight was the Capitol riot. After the election, when Mr. Biden got elected, a lot of people stormed the Capitol and said, look, the voting machines are rigged. This is evil. This is awful. Stop. They stole the election. I happen to be one of those guys who believes that, okay? FBI reveals how many undercover agents were there. Since the failed businesses, let's see, list of Capitol rioters jailed so far. Some 378 individuals have been sentenced to periods of incarceration over their involvement in the January 6th uprising at the Capitol, 32 months since it attempted overthrow the 2020 election certification. Let's see. Well, Trump is going to take care of that. He's going to, DOJ considers charging 200 more people 4 years after the Capitol attack. I see. And Trump is going to issue a blanket pardon when he gets in office in 14 days. 4 years ago.
Alrighty. Well,
yeah, AJ, isn't it amazing that Trump pardoned all these BLM and Antifa guys?
Yes.
And
pardoned literally
feds?
Everybody in prison. They're all now free.
I mean, why would he do that?
I don't know. But I'm about ready to end the stream. I don't know about you guys, but
Okay, well, let
It's
me
been
say
no,
something
fun.
real
Lucan's
quick
an
before you end
idiot.
the stream.
Yeah, go
It's
ahead.
been fun.
Yeah,
I'll let everybody
Especially
make their final
especially when
comments.
you booted Lupin.
right,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was funny. But go ahead, Nick.
Yeah. I was just gonna say this is one thing I love about talking with you guys and chatting, and I want to learn everything I can. I mean, we're supposed to be intelligent and discuss ideas, and wow, I this is really informative, and love you guys, and thank you for your kindness and always putting things out there. And sad we're editing it, but that's okay. Well, I'll be back on again soon, hopefully. I work a lot, but
Nicholas, can
thank
I
you
ask you a question?
everybody, and yeah, go ahead, ask me a question.
So, am I correct? You're still a Christian,
Oh, of course I'm still a Christian. I just
and and you're young earth creationist too.
yes. It's more I think God could have created the world older and all that.
I
But
I think that's
again,
accurate to
I don't
say.
Well, the
deny.
the reason the reason I'm asking is because I want to make you a compliment. Most people that hold those beliefs don't care about having an honest conversation. So I want to
I
compliment
know
you
it's
that you
sad.
can at least
Thank
come
you.
in here and be cordial and not starting whatever that was what Lupin did.
Yeah. Well, it's sad.
I
It's
wish
sad to me
I wish
because
more people were
yeah.
like that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Because no, it's sad to me because you know, especially when people that call themselves Christians and pastors are the problem, and the people that say they are actually the kindest, nicest people I've met. And you know, we're supposed to have this is America. We're supposed to have intelligent ideas. We're supposed to exchange ideas. We're supposed to all those things. I mean, I'll even one of my best friends is transgender. We actually used to do church worship group music together, and he's still my best friend today. It's not about that. This is America. We're free to have ideas and exchange and talk and learn and grow from each other. Like some of the stuff you guys were talking about tonight with the capital stuff, it was some of the I hadn't heard that before. So this is why I love coming on this channel and learning and growing and you know you be a fool if you don't. If you just close your mind and accept what you believe, then you're just an idiot, right? We're supposed to be able to exchange free ideas and disagree and still respect each other and have fun and laugh and you know what I mean. So this is why I love all of you guys and literally every time I drive to work, I'm watching shows and laughing at Claude and Big Bag Mama and everybody else. Like I'm watching the videos and you know, it's not about that. It's about a free exchange of ideas. That's what America is. I can have my beliefs, but still love my best friends, still love the people in my life, and talk and treat each other with respect. So thank you. I appreciate that. Just like you guys, you treat me with respect. I really appreciate that. So, if we close our
That's
minds and
how
we
that
don't have an
works.
exchange of free ideas, then we're a communist country, and we're not. This is America. It's great. So, thank you guys.
Well, for you it's America. For me, it's not.
Well, whatever. It's the
I'm,
world, I should say. But yeah,
I'm slightly far away from America.
it doesn't matter. It's the exchange of free ideas. It's allowed to disagree, but not call each other names and actually discuss points and learn from each other or not learn or you know what I mean. Like that's why I always get.
When
I
you
told
need
this
name
to Kent.
calling, you lost the argument.
No.
That's what I
And
think.
like Kent says, you're dumb. You're no, I don't believe that. I believe you guys have a lot of evidence. You have a lot of stuff to back up your evolution, and most of scientists believe that. I don't disagree with that. Um, I just with my faith and other things, I see it a different way, but I'm not going to call you stupid for believing that. Like, you guys have a lot of stuff backing up what you believe. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. That's where I disagree with Ken. It's like, why not show who, how Lord has changed my life, got me sober, changed my life, my family's life, and then, you know, talk about the points and go through it and look at different ways to interpret the evidence but don't discredit what you guys are doing and what the science community is doing, and that's foolish to me. You know, there, there's this whole conspiracy to everybody. That's not what it is. It's the evidence that they're seeing. It's the way they're interpreting it. And I'm saying, look, I see it this way. You guys see it this way, but I'm not going to call you foolish for seeing it that way. I may disagree with
What?
it, but it doesn't mean you're stupid. You know what I mean? And
Nichol-
it bothers me
Nicholas.
every time he says that. So,
Nicholas, my best friend
Yeah.
is a Christian, and he accepts evolution. He sees no problem with evolution being a fact and still believing in his God. So it's
sure. Yeah.
possible.
Oh, no, I understand
Most
that
people,
too.
most
All right,
people
let's
who
wrap
accept
it up,
evolution
guys. I'm getting
are
bored.
Christian.
I have ADHD, so you guys are gonna have to wrap this
What?
up.
Come on, AJ. You love all the controversy, but that's okay. We love you.
Bring
But no,
Lupin
we
back
can
on.
talk later if you want to.
No.
Message me.
God, no.
Creasy, you go. And then I'm
That's
ending
what's so
the
great about our
stream.
community is we
I'm
can
getting
laugh
cranky
and
here,
joke
guys.
and have fun. So.
All right. Creasy, are you doing a
Let's-
stream tonight or tomorrow? You said you're taking the day off, right? Because I stream.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna chillax. I'm taking care of some stuff on the side end, like I'm straight multitasking here. Probably gonna stream tomorrow though, if I'm feeling up to it after work. So we'll see. I'll post it in the Discords, of course.
Alrighty. Well,
AJ, before
Peter,
you
have
close it up,
final comment? Yeah, go ahead.
I have a lot of stuff coming. I mean, I just agreed on doing several shows with the director of the NCSE. So I'm really looking forward to that, and we're going to do a ton of shows with comedians and scientists on Natalia Reagan's channel. We started that off tonight. So if people are not following Natalia Reagan, what's wrong with you?
I agree.
So,
Alrighty.
Well, and
but I wanted to
too.
thank you. I wanted to thank you for having me on. It's been a while and it's been fun.
And I also want to say, AJ, you've been a good friend. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're back online again, but I also understand why you took a little break. So I'm happy for you. Hi, Stacey. And I'll talk to you. You know, you can call me anytime. All right. And, anytime you guys want my number, contact AJ or look on the post and you guys can contact me. All right. Have a good night.
Sure. Yeah. And I do
Take it
appreciate
easy.
the things you're saying, Nick. They're very nice. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. And thanks for hanging out with me. And